Hey guys, it's Jordan. And today I just want to talk about basically like the Yu-Gi-Oh ban list, right? And how we always bring back cards, like we completely bring back cards when they're almost at a point of irrelevancy, right? And I don't think that's really I shouldn't say it's not good for the game. I should say it's kind of like unfair for the game, right? And what I mean by that is I don't think we should bring back cards when they reach like complete irrelevancy, right? I think the biggest example here are the Dragon Rulers, right? And the Dragon Rulers, I get it, were this tier 0 deck, I think about I want to say like 11, 12 years ago, something like that. Um and and ever since then, I think they got hit. I want to say, or at least that like engine got hit. I think like 3 or 4 times. I want to say until like they're completely just banned, and that that's okay for the time, right? But I think as the game progresses, especially with like power creep and everything, I don't think we should wait until they like we've obviously brought them back, right? I think they're at 2 at the moment, and they've been on there for like like over a decade now, and I don't think like they should still even be on the ban list. Like they should have been brought back, and I get it, they're the tier 0 um deck, but they should have been brought back like years ago, right? And I just think it's pretty sad that they're here and they're back, and you can make like a Dragon Ruler deck or a Dragon Pile deck, or for example, we have the new Dragon Link deck, but like no one uses them, right? And I just don't think like that's correct. I think bringing back cards like before they just don't matter anymore. It can encourage creativity, right? And I get it. I'm not saying all cards that come off the ban list should just be brought back at a time where they can just be completely broken or oppressive or anything, right? Um, like I think one thought I had was I think want to say 2016. I want to say 16 or 17 maybe. Snatch still got brought back, and that card like it was a format defining card at that time, right? Got put right back on the ban list. I think it only lasted one format, right? But now we have Snatch still back, and people play it, right? Not as much, and it's not much as an oppressive card. Now we still have like mind control and brain control, and even triple tactics talents. But people still use it, right? Imagine like Snatch Steal like got brought back 5 years, 5 years later, right? No one would play it because we have like 6 other cards that do the same thing but better, right? And I even think it'd be maybe I'm pushing it. Maybe it can't be. I do think it is a good example of bringing back a card um that we can all use. Like the ban list is there to like fix the game, or at least the meta game. But we can't ignore the fact that every time like a ban list comes out, and we have these cards that are just like we have these cards that get put pack 3 to 2, maybe even a 1, and we everyone just goes like, oh, that doesn't matter. It's irrelevant. No one's gonna play it. I think it's that sad for a card that used to be this like iconic or like this iconic top tier of the meta, right? And maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm just being like pissy about it. But I think bringing back cards just it encourages creativity. It like brings back nostalgia. Um, and it can even bring back an old deck, right? Like Yatagarasu. We just got, relatively recent, we got Yatagarasu off of us. That card could have came back years ago. And but it was part of this, big lock, at towards like the beginning of Yu-Gi-Oh! That's just been on the ban list for years. And, you know, but cards that just don't really, how do I say this? We need to bring back cards that aren't necessarily oppressive, but can still do something in today's metagame. Now, I know you see like Fairy Tale Snow on here, and I did get a lot of I did get flamed for this when I posted it, but I do think Fairy Tale Snow is good at one. I don't think we should wait until Fairy Tale Snow can reach complete irrelevancy to bring her back. People did mention how I think they got brought back twice and they got rebanned twice. But I do think we've reached a point where Fairy Tale Snow is, a pretty good contender to bring back into the game. At least at one, probably just at one. Especially that we got Grass back. Even Grass. I've seen people, they're making like 60 card Infernoid decks, Lightsworn. I saw a guy, he activated Left Arm Offering on me. That hasn't been activated on me in years since Grass got banned. And I think that's a good thing. It brings back old cards, old strategies, creativity, and it just it keeps the game more interesting instead of just let's just ban these cards, bring in the new cards, and in that endless cycle, right? And I get it, that's like the nature of like a card game, but we shouldn't just have this. We shouldn't just keep like a long list of just banned cards and just wait until they go into complete irrelevancy. I don't think that makes any sense. What's the point of creating the card if you're just going to ban it until no one wants to play it, right? I think we can all agree on that. I think cards like Meow Meow Mew, what else? I think we also have, Snow, for example. I can't think of I'm drawing a blank of all the banned cards, but Brilliant Fusion. We just got what is it? The Gem Knight support. Brilliant Fusion should be off the ban list. It would take that deck over the top. And I get it. It did maybe get banned because of I'm not sure if it was legal during the FTK, but or people even play it for the FTK, but cards like that we should bring back into the game to encourage more creativity, bring back old strategies, encourage older strategies, and even the newer strategies. Like Fairy Tale Snow, a lot of people don't agree should come back, but I do think it is like a pretty good card, especially with like links in the game, right? Links are probably the most used cards within the game besides your like main deck cards, of course, right? It's the most used extra deck card, and Fairy Tale Snow can't even affect it. It can't even affect them. But and also from I guess like the monetary standard it doesn't really matter, but people do love playing with these cards. It's a card game. We shouldn't just have a long list of cards. And I get it, like that probably has to do with like card design in general, but I do think bringing back these older cards can help future card design, right? We had the Gem Knight FTK. I know I keep going back to the Gem Knights, but we just covered them. We do have the Gem Knight FTK, and in the recent card design for the Gem Knights, they did put in that you can only take your opponent only takes half damage off 2 of the new cards, right? And things like that helps card design. We shouldn't just have like this. How do I say this? Like a boring. I don't want to say boring, but just like a set of cards that are, let's say, mediocre in design, and then we just have the top tier, like tier 0 or tier 1 that is just so oppressive. It just it's above everything else in design, and then we just ban it. And then 10 years later, when we bring it back, no one wants to play it anymore. I think that's very sad, right? There are certain cards that need to stay on the ban list, right? Like I wouldn't say a card like Pot of Greed should come off the ban list necessarily. Even though we do have cards that are basically just +2, +3 in card advantage anyway. But that's besides the point. But bringing back cards to when they're not as oppressive, I think is a good thing for the game. right? Cards like Zodiac Barrage or Rat Pierre, or even Drident. You know, and this is from my brother. Not Masterpiece. Never bring back Masterpiece. I don't care. I don't care if it comes to complete irrelevancy. We're never bringing back Masterpiece. But in all seriousness, um, it would be, I do think it would be a good thing for the game, right? Uh, you know, we shouldn't, you know, it's a card game. People love playing with these cards. You know, obviously, except for the oppressive ones or cards that, how do I say, encourage a lot of degeneracy. Like, what was that? I think, I forgot what it's called, but it's like, it's Neptune's, it's like that reptile monster that like copies an effect, right? That facilitates an FDK. Obviously, cards like that, they're not necessarily like future proof. So those shouldn't come back into the game. But you know, but we do have like a long list of cards that I think would be completely fine at 3 or at 1. But we shouldn't just keep cards on the ban list for like so long, right? I think it's just sad. I think it discourages a lot of players. I think it how do I say this? It doesn't like encourage a certain type of card design, but I think it definitely like it does. It is taken into account, or I should say, the cards that are banned aren't taken into account when we have new cards being created. But I think that's it for this video. I think that's everything. Tell me what you guys think in the comment section. I really want to hear everybody's opinions on this. Tell me if you think Fairy Tale Snow should come back. I think it can. And whoever does it, I think, you know, I think, who hurt you? All right. All right. All right. I'll see you guys later.